Once every 2 years, the best speed golfers on the planet compete for the title of World Champion. It's the Speed Golf World Championships, baby. Speed golf, baby. Let's go. I'm Adam Lorton. Thanks for joining us for round one of the World Championships. For those of you who made the trip to Japan, I know you've been waiting for this video. The wait is over. Whether you're a longtime fan or you're tuning in for the first time, we're glad you're here with us. Today, we're coming to you from the 700 Club in beautiful Sakura, Japan. If you're new to speed golf, here's what you need to know. These golfers are going to play 18 holes today, 18 holes tomorrow. At the end, we'll add up their golf score and their time, and that's their speed golf score. Now, if you want to know what a good score is around here, here's a number for you. 8 under par, 117. That was 74 shots in 43 minutes, shot by defending world champion Jamie Reed, who parachuted in from New Zealand to dominate the Japan Speed Golf Open 1 year ago. Will Jamie become the first back-to-back world champion since Rob Hogan in 2015? Or, come tomorrow, will we see a new face on the podium? How about Tatsuya Shinmoto or Jin Ota? World-class speed golfers, bitter rivals on the Japanese tour, but united today as they look to stiff-arm the Kiwis and keep the world title in Japan for the next 2 years. How about Robin Smith, the Robin to Jamie Reed's Batman? Or for that matter, Robin's big brother Bernie Smith playing in his first World Championships? Could it be the most interesting speed golfer in the world, Rob Hogan, reclaiming the crown 9 years after his last victory? Or could it be Luke Willett, the hottest speed golfer of 2024, 3 international titles under his belt already? Luke is first off the tee, so we'll check in with him in just a minute. And before I introduce our first guest, a quick state of the sport. Speed golf is on its way to 40 participating nations, which is a huge milestone in our collective quest to become an Olympic sport. For that reason, I'd encourage you to subscribe to Speed Golf Baby, not just so you see round 2 and the Team World Cup, but so you can say you were on board before it was cool. And with that, it's time to welcome our first guest, Mikael Palmberg. He is the owner of the 6th best round in Swedish speed golf history, and he's going to be commenting his own front 9 here in a few minutes. Mikael, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Adam. Really great to be here. And as you said, it's really, really important to be one of the first ones so you can enjoy the Worlds before we don't make the cut.
That's right.
Yeah.
When I got invited to play on Team USA as the very last captain's pick, I jumped at the chance, first of all, because I wanted to be there and see it, and also because I knew the level of talent is getting better faster than I'm getting better at speed golf. So I'm very confident this is going to be my one and only chance to be a player in this event.
Yeah, and given my age, being the first year I'm in the senior category, it's not given that you were able to run in 4 or 6 years. So.
Absolutely. We're watching the early session here. This is what I'm calling a World Championships watch party. Luke Willett, first off the tee, like I mentioned, hottest speed golfer of 2024. I actually sent Luke a message saying, man, what a great 2024. I hope 2025 can even come close. And he said, mate, I just feel like I have to address this because 2024 was only the beginning. It's only going to get better from here. You're going to see me unleash the beast in 2025. And one thing I love about Luke Willett is the optimism. Yeah. He can always see that there's a better tomorrow.
How about, I met him like 3-4 times and got to know the guy first time in 22 at the Worlds in Florida. And he didn't have a really good championship that year. So I was a little bit surprised also that he put in all that effort and he really, really got the results last year, 24, with all those wins and all those great scores. And so he would just keep on going, I think so. He's a hot candidate.
Yeah. He's a hot candidate. This guy absolutely never quits. So we saw him 4 pars in a row to open up the World Championships. We don't have much footage of hole number 2, but I thought actually hole number 2 was sneakily one of the hardest holes on the course. A short par 4, a little bit uphill, but that green sloping back to front produced a lot of 3 putts.
Yeah,
But here we are on this. Go ahead,
Sorry about
Mikael.
that. That's the second hole. Yeah, we are on the 7th now, but the second hole, yeah, and most of the holes, I would say, keep it short of the pin, or you will have a really, really tough first putt.
The greens were very fast, but in my opinion, very fair at this golf course. Now, Luke is on in 3. He is carrying just 3-wood, 6-iron, and 46-degree pitching wedge. And here he is from the back of the green, wedge in hand, looking to get up and down for a par. Now you can see how much this ball is rolling out. Got himself, looks to me about 7 feet for the par.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's
This would be
straight.
A nice momentum builder.
It's a quite straight one
after
though.
A couple of bogeys.
Whoa.
Boom.
Well done. Come on.
Rolls it straight in the cup. Double fire emoji. That signifies more than 30 seconds faster than time par. Another par on the difficult par 3/8. And here Luke is looking to finish out this front 9.
Come on, Luke.
Yeah, and 9 was a big difference between the men's tee and the seniors tee. It was almost 100 yards.
Yes.
So for me, it was a really short one. But
Yeah.
I know that many of the guys that were struggling with the approach shot, not having the correct club.
Very difficult. 390 uphill. So you see Luke hit a nice tee shot there, found himself on the left side, which is the ideal angle to approach this green, but now has left it short in the bunker with 3-wood, 6-iron. And now is going to have a difficult up and down. This is another one of those greens that slopes severely back to front. Every putt, even a 2-footer above the hole, is a very scary proposition.
It is, but the bunkers and the course, I would just say that again, that the course was fabulous and the bunkers were perfect and everything was really, really good. So
What's up, Luke? We're happy to see you, man.
I've played a lot of fall golf, and one of my enduring memories from the 2022 US Open, which was played in the fall, was that I hit some great tee shots that just absolutely disappeared under a leaf. And I have to say, I could not find a single fallen leaf on this golf course. Japanese course maintenance is at a completely different level, and I, for one, loved it.
yeah, it was super. And now he has, this is a tough one because it's easy to get too hot on that one, and you will have a difficult bogey putt. But he plays it smart.
Right, and distance control wedge putting is more difficult than distance control with a putter. But man, beautiful 2-putt there from Luke. Gets in with a bogey, a 42. Now he is our leader through 9 because he's the only one who's finished 9, plus 6 in 22-26. I think he would prefer to have lost a couple of shots on that golf score. And here we have defending 2023 US Open champion Jin Ota. As mentioned at the top, a titan on the Japanese tour and recovering from an injury, had to withdraw from the 24 US Open, had a tough road recovering, but appears to be in championship form so far. Easy par, 2 easy pars to start the round. What interactions have you had with Ota-san?
Well, I met him in the Worlds 22, and he impressed a lot. He was a really solid golfer. And I saw his swing and all that. And I mean, the swing is so perfect for speed golf and normal golf as well, since it's so damn simple. I mean, and he doesn't make that many mistakes either.
No, very, very few mistakes, and doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but my gosh, he gets around this golf course so quickly. I mean, we saw from his 2023 Japan Speed Golf Open, he's playing this course in, I think, 46 minutes, and I know he set himself a goal to go even faster. And as he comes by here on the 7th, you can see the shoes he's wearing. One thing I've been monitoring is shoes, because of course super shoes have infiltrated is the wrong word. Everyone's wearing super shoes when they run in races, but it seems difficult because the super shoe is tilted back to front. It's a tall sole, so it seems difficult to get a golf swing. But those look to me like the Nike Zoom Fly, as we see a nice little tap-in par here for Ota-san. That looks like the Nike Zoom Fly, which is a carbon plate super shoe. I wonder if that could be one of the things helping him shave a couple of minutes this time around.
Yeah, maybe it's something you just need to learn, maybe. to have those
so.
tilted shoes as well playing golf.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's helping him run faster, though. Maybe.
He is not going slowly, that's for sure. 1:58 on the difficult par 4 8th, which includes that climb up from hole 7 to hole 8. Boy, that was a tough climb early in the round. And I can tell you, in Ota's bag, 3-wood, 6-iron, 9-iron, 52-degree, and putter.
Yeah.
As we see him coming up the long par 4 9th here.
And just like you mentioned, Adam, is that when you look at footage, also on regular golf tournaments, you don't see the slopes that well, but this was a really, really slow golf course.
That's right. Our American viewers will be familiar with Glen Oaks Country Club in Kentucky, which is about the same distance of run as this. And Glen Oaks, the hilliest golf course on the U.S. Tour, I have this golf course only a minute or two faster than Glen Oaks. So this is indeed a difficult run and a great test for the World Championships.
Yeah. Will he par the 9th?
Nice lag.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Right
par.
in the center of the cup, a 39 with 3 bogeys. And that would be your new leader, 8 seconds over Speedgolf par, 23.43 on the front side. Now, I've got a quick question for the viewers. Are you Speedgolf curious? Are you thinking about playing your first round but not sure where to get started? I'd like to encourage you to download the Speedgolf Starter Pack. It answers all the most important questions, like how do I get a Speedgolf tee time without having an awkward conversation with the pro shop? Like what do I bring for my first round of speed golf? And as a bonus, if I like speed golf, how do I get a better rate and a standing tee time at my club? All these questions are answered in the Speedgolf Starter Pack at a price you can afford. I know you can afford it because it's free. So get the Speedgolf Starter Pack and see how fast you can graduate from speed golf curious to actual speed golfer. See you out there. And here we have our American hope, the director, Scott Dolly, playing with hybrid in round 1. I know he was on the fence as to whether to take hybrid or driver. Ended up going hybrid here. And we can see a couple of competent pars to start him out.
That's a good start. Yeah, Scott is a really, really like stable golfer, stable runner. And I mean, if you get both of these ones working out, then he might be a top player as well in this competition.
Certainly. Well, yeah, right. Because his golf game is so steady everybody needs their floor somewhere. For a guy like Rob Hogan, the floor is always his running speed. And for a guy like Scott Dolly, it's the fact that, a 78 is a bad score for him.
Mm-hmm. So, and he started out quite good as well. Only a couple of bogeys. The first 9 are a little bit tougher as well, I would say. Not spoiling anything, but it's a tough opening.
Yeah, more scoring opportunities on the backside, and the par 5s, especially carrying hybrid, par 5s not reachable in the slightest for the director here. Birdie putt on the way. Oh, drops it for a birdie. That is a full, or I don't know, 75% of a stroke gained right there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, follows it up with a bogey on the 8th. And I don't think that we're going to have hole 9 footage, but that is a 39, 5 seconds under speed golf par for the director. I mean, the amount his speed has improved in the last couple of years, incredible. And now we are seeing probably my favorite new friend. No offense, Mikael. My favorite new friend from the World Championships, Luke Bone. This guy is just a ball of charisma, carrying 5-wood, 6-iron, 50-degree wedge, and putter. A great golfer and an elite cross-country runner. I think he's run a 15-minute 5K.
Wow. Yeah, he's got a forceful running style. It looks fast as well when he's running. Yeah.
Powerful legs. And I mean, he's, getting around this golf course with a 5-wood. I would That would cost me quite a few strokes. But speaking of clubs off the tee, we're talking about the director, Scott Dawley, and his choice to go with hybrid. And we're about to see Luke Bone here on the 7th. I actually think that your tee club selection should depend a little bit on your running fitness. If you have lower running fitness, I think a shorter club off the tee is better. I'll be curious your thoughts on that.
I don't have much thought on that. I try to have the best tee. I just try to choose the best tee club that my golf allows, keeping myself on track and keeping my golf scores low.
Very nice. So we saw that Luke went 5-wood to get past the back of that green. That's two big 5-woods there, and makes himself an easy 2-putt par. A little bit of time wasted going over the green and back, but a nice front 9, 4 over par heading into the last, and a huge birdie on the par 4 9th to get him in as your leader so far through 4 golfers.
That's a really good one.
And now we have Robin Smith, 6th place finisher at the 2022 World Championships. One of the few people who has ever beaten Jamie Reed head to head. He gets more chances than most of us.
Yeah.
But Robin showed
he's got so much energy, this guy. I saw him in the US, and I've seen him a little bit over time. And when he was in the US, he was quite new at the sport as well. And with his background in field hockey, you can see that in his short swing as well. He's really solid golfer as well. So he can really do really good scores.
Yep, he squares up the club face in a remarkably short window of time. All right. Now, Robin has taken a drop here, found the water, and so this is his 4th shot heading into the green. And by the way, huge credit to Filip Beerens, who is on the camera at hole 7 here. Filip didn't tee off until late in the day, and so was able to help us out by holding a camera. It is thanks to Filip that we have such great coverage of this signature golf hole. Yeah,
Filip is really, really what we call a fire soul in Sweden. He's really, really into it and a fabulous guy.
Fabulous guy indeed. All right, fine lag there from Robin, looking to tap in now for a bogey 6. Up and down round here, but he's 3 over par, 3 minutes under time par.
Wow.
And a 2, boy, a rare 2 on that tough par 3 8th. That helps the scorecard out immensely. And Robin coming in just 6 seconds behind Luke Bone. Early contender here.
Yeah, that's really good. With all those bogeys, it was nice to get a couple of birdies as well for Robin.
Yes. Now this is Jim Davis. Jim Davis, the actual last addition to Team USA, was added to the team when Jason Hawkins couldn't play. Jim lives in Michigan like I do, and boy, this guy's speed is just off the charts. One of the few people who can play the Kentucky Speed Golf Open in under 50 minutes, and kind of an up and down golf game, but he's got a home golf simulator. He prepared super hard for this World Championships, and you can see it coming out here in the first 6 holes. Just a single bogey on that difficult par 4 2nd, and a rare 3 on the long par 4 6th.
And right. Jim is such a nice bloke as well. I got to know him a little bit as well, and I just love his beard.
He has a great beard. That the photo doesn't do it justice. No. It's an incredible beard, and he is one of only 3 or 4 golfers rocking the Hogan holster here. A great tool for. Have you ever experimented with the holster?
I haven't tried it. I will try it when I only need like 3 or 4 clubs. But usually I carry 5. But when I'm down to 4, maybe I will try it. Of course.
Jim is carrying driver, 8-iron, sand wedge, putter.
Yeah.
We've got a birdie look from just off the green here. And this is a very fair pin, but difficult to read. We see people missing it on both sides of the hole.
Yeah, it's kind of flat, and you think it's downhill as well. But it's quite flat where the pin is situated.
3-putt from off the green there for a bogey 6, but that leaves Jim just 1 over par before an unfortunate double at the 8th. And we will see Jim coming in here on the 9th. Driver 8-iron, even though he hits it a long way, it's going to be tough for him to get this all the way to the hole.
Right.
Yeah, he really needs a good driver to reach it. But yeah, if he gets the good draw, the long sweeping draw, then he will be able to reach it with an 8-iron, I think.
Hits a fade with the driver, and I actually think he fades every club, but Jim, feel free to fact check me on that. I know you'll be watching.
Looking fast, man.
Yeah, he was. I was playing the practice round, parts of the practice round with Jim, and he was slicing it and fading it, and then we said, well, maybe you should draw it, and he drawed the first driver on the first tee. So I don't know if he kept on doing that, but
too funny. All right, par putt up the hill. Oh, look at that!
Whoa!
He started that way outside the hole. Dipped in and then just barely lipped out. Tap in bogey for Jim. 22 minutes, 47 seconds. One of the fastest times we've seen so far on this 9. And that puts him just 4 seconds behind Jin Ota. Great start for Jim Davis. Now this is Ville Heinonen. You can A, correct my pronunciation, and B, maybe tell me more about this athlete who they say is the fastest Finn.
He is the fastest. He's the fast Finn. I met him in Sweden. He was playing the nationals, both the foursomes and also the single competition. Unfortunately, he got stung by wasps and on the last hole 3 times until the marker told him to please drop the ball. So he lost a couple of three minutes there and he was still having one of the fastest times. And yeah, you can see the running is so easy and so fast.
Yeah, he's pounding it up this hill. This is rare footage of the uphill par 4 second hole. And I think we might be able to get a clue of the difficulty here. First of all, almost everywhere you hit your drive, it's going to be a blind shot into the green. You've got the big bunker to navigate there. I actually think the correct line off the tee is straight at the hole and just assuming you'll end up in the left rough. But that's maybe a discussion for for before the World Championships, not during. No. Par putt here for Ville. Now you see that this putting technique we don't see often. Is one-hand putting, but left hand only.
Yeah, that's the one of the first I've seen.
Difficult 3-putt there for Ville. And as we see these results roll in for Ville's first few holes, I want to give a quick shout out to the Speedgolf super fans. First, it was awesome meeting so many of you in Japan, and thank you for the words of encouragement. Those seriously keep me going even when YouTube AdSense doesn't. So thank you. And if you're looking to support Speedgolf Baby without spending a dime, there's one thing you can do, and that is leave this video playing in your browser, even if you don't have time to watch the whole thing today. YouTube judges the value of a video based on average view duration, and every person who makes it to the end of this 2-hour Speedgolf bonanza sends YouTube a message saying, hey, this content is worth watching. Thanks. Now it looks like he has gone for the green in 2, and I can see the ripples in the water. He's found the water. I found the water on my second shot, actually, just because I was so juiced from the round that I didn't realize how far I'd hit my drive. So my normal 7-iron layup just landed me in the water. So Ville taking a drop here, hitting 4. All right, looks like he's left himself a nice par opportunity. Again, left hand, one-hand putting. Drops it for the par. Huge par in 3 minutes.
Ah, that's great.
For Ville. And And I wanted to ask you, Mikael, while we wait to see the rest of his results, what was something about Japan that surprised or delighted you outside the golf course?
Outside the golf course, I love the structure and all the kind people. They say that Japanese are really kind and humble, and they are. I mean, they're so humble, and I just love the fact that outside the golf course you can always find a hot bath, the onsen, and yeah, that was a really great experience, and really a big set of rules. If you have too much tattoos or whatever, you can't go there, and all that. So interesting culture there as well. So I loved it.
All right.
Nice view.
Now this is Gary Younger from New Zealand, our camera operator on hole 3, getting into position here. We're going to get a chance to watch Mick Macbeth's second shot into the par 5 here. Now that's a great tee shot there, but with playing a cut with that fairway wood, looks like he's left himself in a tough position. Gary selling his body out to get the shot here at the green, which we appreciate. So that was the third from Mick Macbeth. Found himself on the green and has a birdie putt.
That's actually a pretty good angle to approach the green from the right side, because then you don't have the deep bunker, and you get the full length of the green to play with. So it's not not too bad.
No, it really is a good angle if you can make it happen. Stress-free 2-putt par there on the third. By the way, how did you play the third?
2 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to.
Driver, wedge.
I had such a strange set since I played driver, pitching wedge, sandwich, putter. So I had a huge gap there. So if I had a chance, I would hit the driver, and if not, I would just play 2 pitching wedges. So
makes sense. Yeah. All right. Mick with a birdie look here on the par 3 fourth. Oh, just misses on the low side. And Chris Hundhausen, I know you're watching, and I'm sure you noticed that Mick teed off from the wrong tees there. The statute of limitations has passed, so no penalties will be applied for that. Although, Mick, you should have known better.
Wow.
A pair of bogeys on the par 4 5th and 6th. And here we find Mick on the par 5 7th. Looks like he has played 2 shots. Wow, that's dangerously close to the water there.
Yeah, it's easy to relax on the second one, even if it's a short approach, short of the water. But you need to have it quite close to the water to have like a pitching wedge or a sandwich in to be able to make the birdie. So it's a really tricky hole. It's a really risk and reward hole.
It is. And the nearest point in the fairway to the green, I think, is 105 yards to the center. So, I was carrying a 54 degree, which goes 110 at the absolute maximum. So, yeah, if I didn't have a good layup, then I was in danger of hitting the water on my third.
Yeah, or you might spin it too hard as well. So you won't be able to reach the hole anyway. So it's it's really tricky. Also, a comment about the course. Quick comment. It looks dry. I got comments on that, and it's not dry. It's perfect condition, but it's just hibernating. The grass is hibernating for the winter a little bit, so it looks dry.
That's right. And in post-production, we'll be attempting to apply color grading to make this look greener than it looks on camera, because, it does look a little dreary here. But yeah, absolutely right. The course was very firm on this day 1 here. I found the greens quite challenging on day 1 and a little easier with the rain on day 2.
Yeah, that's true.
And here we have Marco Kuningwas, who I rated as, I think, the 16th player in the open division going into this, not knowing that Marcus had just turned 50 and would be competing in the senior division.
Yeah.
So
unfortunate,
bit of a mistake by me, but also, yeah, unfortunate for you, Mikael. Also, I'm pretty sure that he was trying to keep that close to the chest. I don't think he was looking to advertise that he was playing as a senior.
No, but he is such a great athlete, and I think he just a year before, or less than a year, he was running with a pain in his leg, and then he went to the doctor, and he said, "Can you run on a broken leg?" Yeah, so he had to come back from that broken leg, and and he's really. Kuningas is also translated to Swedish. It's kung, and it's the king, and he's really magnificent guy, tall guy.
Yes, he is. Let's see. I asked Marco for some fun facts about himself for another video we did, so I'm going to share a couple of those with you. Number one, he plays golf as a lefty. And as a matter of fact, so much so that he keeps a left-handed handicap, which is 20, which is better than what, I don't know, 40% of all golfers on their dominant hand.
Yeah, but he's such a solid golfer as well. And it looks so much faster than it looks when he's running as well. Mm-hmm. He's got one of those styles that it doesn't look that fast, but he's fast.
Now, I wonder, is this his second shot? Well, no, I suppose everybody teed off from the same tee, so that's got to be his
I would say it's the third shot. He played it conservative and just kept it in play, I think.
Yep, I think you're right. Speaking of Marco's athleticism, he said his record for pull-ups, he's done 30 pull-ups in one set.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Hey, that's 1/8, or my record is 1/8 of that.
Yeah.
No, I guess 1/5. All right, birdie putt on the way. As you said, Mikael, this looks downhill, but it's actually pretty flat. Easy to leave this putt short. It's actually exactly what we see. A tester for par. Oh, just runs it by on the low side. Disappointing bogey for Marco, but he is 8 minutes under time par through 7 holes.
Well,
I don't think senior time par properly captures what Marco can do.
And senior time par, I don't know how it differs from the other time pars, but I mean it's the same, more or less the same running distance as all golfers. I think. Oh yeah. I think we had 100 yards shorter on one. 50, 60 yards shorter, maybe. Oh, yep. Swede.
What can you tell us about Joachim?
Joachim is a little joker here, since he had a really, really good 2024 with course records and a couple of wins, and it was very close between the 4 first ones in the nationals, and he came out the 4th. He's 49 and a half years old, so almost a senior, but doing his first international competition, which of course is a little bit nervous and tricky, but a really solid golfer, playing with a 3-wood 6-iron, I think, maybe 8-iron. Yeah, never mind. You might have a better track of that, but.
I was thinking it was 3-wood 7-iron sand wedge putter.
Yeah.
See him using the claw grip on the putter there. Belt hook with the silo. Not something you see often, but there's more than one golfer who finds a way to belt hook the silo. Yep. I think for a new speed golfer, belt hook is absolutely the way to go when you're putting.
Yeah, and the fact about Joachim is that he started playing like 5 years ago. But he made his first competition in 2023.
Wow.
So,
I mean, it helps to have an excellent golf game.
It does, and he's a really solid golfer. He's got a draw swing. He can hit since you didn't get that much roll on this course, he would hit his 3-wood almost as far as a driver. So he chose the 3-wood.
Right, and you can see at age 49 and a half, this man is not slow.
No. Also tall runner, and also with the yellow socks, it looks a little bit faster as well.
I agree. All right. Perfectly pin high miss to the right here. Probably the geometric center of the green. Birdie putt on the way here.
Yeah, got fooled.
This, again, a difficult putt to read from every angle.
Yeah.
Tough 3-putt bogey there for the Swede. And I believe what's next is a Swedish double feature. Well, put a pin in that.
Yeah.
As we wait for Joachim to finish. A nice birdie on the par 5 third. And we're going to see him finish up the front 9 here. Currently 4 over Speedgolf par. He's found himself under the tree. Boy, that's just a few feet away from a very tough leave.
It is.
But now he's going to be able to run it up the front here. All right, it is past the hole. Sure. This will be a very uncomfortable putt going down the hill. Because it may not look it from here, but this putt is quick. And even if you have it at dying speed, it's going to finish 6 feet past the hole.
Yeah, you really have to be really careful with this one. And also the approach is kind of tough since it's more uphill than you can. He made it.
Drops it for the par. That is a 4 over par 40. And that puts Joachim in 8th place in the Open division, to about 4 minutes over Speedgolf par. Yes, Henrik Honkaletto. Marco Kuningwas' partner in crime.
It is one of the young golfers as well, 30 years old. Really, yeah, he's doing a lot for speed golf in Finland as well, and he's putting a lot of effort in practicing better and more structured, and really is pushing himself to become better and better.
Yeah, has improved a lot. Is getting his golf scores consistently in the 70s. Running times very competitive. We find him here on the par 5 third. That little pitch. See, like you were saying with Mick Macbeth, Henrik's pin high miss there hurt him a little bit because he didn't have very much green to work with.
Yeah, you can pass the good angle there, and he did it with probably 2 long irons, because he was only carrying a long iron as well. That's the longest club.
That's right. Yeah, driving iron off the tee, but a nice 2-putt there for a par 5 on the difficult par 5 third. Double bogey on the 4th, though. That stings. Thought that that 4th hole was very gettable.
It was, and especially for the seniors team. From the seniors team. It was a perfect pitching wedge, yes.
All right. Henrik here, although I could imagine that with driving iron, Henrik might carry 6 iron to pair with that. And 6 iron, it was playing about 145 from the, about 145 yards from the Open Division tees on the par 3 4th. So I can imagine that a 6 iron there would be tough to chop down to 145.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he carried after the driving iron, because he can carry the driving iron. Like most of the guys play 3-wood, more or less.
All right. We're about to see where Henrik's approach ended up on the par 5 7th. All right, just short of pin high. This is in a pretty good spot here. Says this is for bogey. We probably missed him taking a drop.
Yeah, he was playing a really short approach from the fairway earlier. I saw him do that, and got me a little puzzled if he had troubles on the tee shot or something like that. Oh, that's a tough one.
A snowman with a turtle and only 2 seconds under time par. very unhunkaletto.
Yeah.
But again, this golf course, especially the front nine, had quite a few difficult greens. As we see Henrik here looking to finish up on the par 4 ninth, has found himself on the green. Birdie putt here. This would be a big one to hole. All right.
Just a close, short one to finish par.
Nice putt there and a tap in par for a 9 over par 45. Going to be a bit disappointing there for Henrik.
Yeah, he wasn't very satisfied. Everybody was happy afterwards, but he wasn't satisfied with his play, with his game. We got an American on tee.
An American on the tee box. Nice. One of my favorite golfers to watch, the southpaw from Springfield. This is Nick Gooden. You'll remember him shooting, 31, I think, on the front nine of the 21 or the 20. Yeah, the 22 U.S. Speedgolf Open.
Wow.
Fantastic golfer. Speaking of people who worked super hard on their running speed, Nick Gooden, he was running a marathon in May in preparation for this tournament, and he is getting around this golf course a lot faster than we've seen him in the past, and of course, never skimping on the golf game. This is a guy who, if the course demands it, he'll carry 6 golf clubs because, again, if he's shooting 76, he is very deeply unsatisfied. Birdie putt on the way. And one thing you'll notice with Nick is the quick step back after a putt. And I think one reason he does it is to watch the way the putt breaks around the hole in case he has to make a comebacker.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I think he always carries a drive. Isn't that true?
Almost always carries driver, certainly prefers to, and he can bomb the driver. I mean, 290 carry is not off the table for him. Sorry, don't know what that is in meters, but
it's okay.
Birdie putt here. Nick is a very competent one-handed putter. Ooh, a vicious lip out there on the 4th. Hit that one just a tiny bit too hard. But 2 easy pars there on camera. Even par through the 4th. You love to see that for Team USA. And here I will pause to put some Team USA merch on the camera here. Available at speedgolf.baby/store. 1 under par for the southpaw after a 3 on that difficult par 4 6th. And even Nick Gooden not attempting to reach the green in 2 here. Wedge in hand, often carries lob wedge.
It's tricky to know, but and it's hard to read on the reaction. But he was waving to the camera, so probably it's a good approach.
I think you're right. Yeah, this is the very same spot we saw Marco playing from. Nope. The bag is where we saw Marco playing from. The ball directly over the flagstick, down the hill just a little bit. Everybody has been missing this one on the 8th hole side, but Nick Gooden reads it correctly, directly at the hole. This is looking like he'll mop this up for an easy 5. And great start for the southpaw.
Wow.
One thing we've seen with him is that he tends to score better on front nines than back nines. A lot of times, maybe the fatigue can get to him.
Yeah, like
bogey on the par 3 8th, and we're going to see Nick Gooden come in trying to maintain level par for the front 9. That would be the first golfer we've seen do that if he can convert this up and down right here.
Good check.
Gets a little check on that ball, but has still leaves himself 4.5 feet, I would say, for the par down the hill. This would feel so good to make. Oh, and he drops it, lips it in. A even par, 36 on the front for the southpaw, 30 seconds under time par. That is some great speed golf.
Another lefty.
And here we have James McMaster. Aussie and 2 southpaws in a row. James, very similar to Nick Gooden, is a guy who lives and dies by his golf game. He's telling me he had shot, I think, 2 under par 70 in the practice round, opens it up with a birdie on the first.
Yeah, that's
very,
very solid start.
Lots of fun.
And as I understand,
lots of fun to meet James and hear all the plans he has for Aussie Speed Golf. They're going to be reopening the Australian Speed Golf Open. They're having clinics for juniors. Love to see the momentum around Aussie Speed Golf. As we see him here, he's going to have to chip it over the foot golf hole. Should be no issue, but he looks like caught that one just a touch thin.
It's the par 5, number 3.
And by hole 4, that's when your heart rate is all the way up there. Be the time, and especially after that climb, it's an easy time to flub a touch shot like that one.
It's probably downhill as well from the lie there by the foot golf hole. It was the tough one.
Correct.
Tough one to keep by the hole.
Mm-hmm. All right, and that's going to be a very disappointing bogey 6 in 419 for James McMaster. 4 turtles already on the scorecard as he gets himself a 1.5-minute overtime par through 5 holes. And as we see him coming down, boy, this view doesn't do justice to the view from the 7th tee.
No, it's magnificent.
It is. All right. Now this ball is ideally situated right at the end of the fairway, right next to the cart path. Yeah. About 100, I would call that 104 yards to the hole.
That's the perfect layup spot. Really. Mm-hmm. You could get a closer layup, but then you have to run back to the cart path.
That's right.
Or a swim.
Oh yeah, they had that golf triathlon in Japan. If it were any closer to my house, I would love to have done that. I'm a former competitive swimmer. I think that's a place I could really make up some time on these other speed golfers.
I haven't heard about that. Sounds crazy. Is that easy? Oh, it was a bogey.
Must have taken a drop there that we didn't see.
Yeah.
All right, in for a 6, and this is and a double on the 8th. Yeah, this is a tough start for James, who I volunteered to me that he didn't think his running fitness was quite at the level he wanted. And I think we're seeing evidence of that right there.
This is a new guy.
As we see Craig Russell.
Yeah, this is a really new guy for me. And most of the competent New Zealand guys, it really happened a lot during the 2 years. Jamie has been the champion. With a lot of good golfers picking up speed golf in New Zealand and with like 50, 60 competitors in the competitions there, the national competitions. So they have a lot of good players.
Yep. So yeah, Gary on the camera was eager to catch footage of Craig because they both work on Speed Golf North, a speed golf club for the North Island. And we can see Craig with a birdie putt here. All right, nice lag. Gets it to a foot, taps it in for an easy 5.
Mate, here boy, good to see you.
And he's rolling.
Yeah. I think you can see also that most New Zealanders is adapting what Jamie uses, like the silo and just put it on the ground and run.
Oh yeah, well, right. The armpit pinch putting method. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see. A lot of homogeneity in speed golf approach there. Yep, here we see the armpit pinch. Birdie putt on the way for Craig Russell. Hit that one softly. Oh, great speed on that. Just boy, and those are those 700 club greens again. They just give you 2 to 4 more feet of roll than you are expecting.
Nice.
Aggressive stroke there. Nails the par putt.
Is there. Let's go.
Good start for Craig Russell as he's nearly a minute under time par.
Yeah, number 5, number 6 is also really nice par 4 holes, quite tight, tough.
Yep.
But
You won't see a lot of footage of those, but yeah, that's a place where if you get through those 2 holes in 1 over par, you're mostly pretty happy.
yeah,
All right.
and he's
Putt from off the green there. Yet again, got fooled on that side of the hole, but par putt on the way. Kind of a descending stroke. Oh, that's a bogey 6th for Craig. Apologies for the miscount there.
But on paper, 7 is quite an easy hole. It's not very long, but there are a lot of bogeys and 3 putts and more.
Most definitely. Here we see yet another golfer above the hole on hole 9. If this doesn't go in, see how close it finishes to the hole.
I have a really small image, but is he using a putter?
He is, yes. That is a putter in hand for Craig. And yep, hit that with what I would say is perfect speed and has only 6 feet left for par. Drops it for the par, a nice 39 in 24.5 minutes. That's got to get him into the top 10, I would think. As we see Luke Bone continues to be your leader. 7th, Craig Russell at 56 seconds over time par. And we have Pertti from Finland here. What do you know about Pertti?
Pertti, I just met him at the opening ceremony dinner, and he is a really, really competent golfer. Has been competing a lot and just starting running. So he comes from golf and starts to run. So probably we will see some really good shots and some good results, and maybe not a super time from Pertti. Let's see.
Does seem likely, as we see a double turtle as he double bogeys the first.
Gliding along.
Yeah. It's all good.
Nice.
Finds himself about 30 feet past the hole on the par 3 4th. Not an unusual place to end up. Putter in hand. Looks like this is Silo with one-handed putting. Feeds it down ever so gently and has left this one short. Maybe 2.5 feet to clean this up for a par. Misses it on the low side. You hate to see that. And it actually has a longer third putt than his second.
You guys.
Drops that one right in the center, though, and that is a 4 in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. By the way, that 2:12 includes the run from hole 3 green to hole 4 tee, just for the sake of complete and accurate information.
And that was a 100-yard run, I think.
It was, to navigate around that fence.
And an extra bonus, I've seen that for the Finnish players, also some New Zealand players that when they hit the green, they are really fixing the pitch marks.
Yes, yeah, you'll see many different approaches here. For example, will Pertti rake the bunker after setting 1 foot in it?
Yeah,
my guess would be no.
Let's see. No.
No. He came up pretty immediately. Had to take a drop there. Par putt. Good effort.
Yep.
This is just on the left side. That is 4 bogeys in a row, unfortunately, for Pertti, as he makes the climb up to the 8th.
And another bogey.
But a nice par on the 9th for a 42. Puts Pertti in 12th place so far. And here we have it, the Swedish double feature. Mikael versus Marcus.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What can you tell us about Marcus?
Marcus, he's such a really, really nice, funny guy. He's a little bit older than I am, but only a few years, and he's taller than I am, and he hits the ball longer than I do. But looking at golf, we are more or less, yeah. We're really equal to golf, and when it comes to running, we're quite equal as well. I have been able to maybe combine the two a little bit better over the years, but it's always an open competition between us.
All right, and the floor is open to you as you comment your third hole here.
It was a tough one, since I had a good drive on not really, but then I actually topped the second one totally, and then I it was a strange hole.
On the par 3
did it say par there?
And
you had you making a bogey, but it looks like
I had a bogey. I saved a bogey. But
looks like you managed to get a reasonable shot here on the fourth.
Yeah, it was a perfect one. Actually, the day before I hit a pin, almost aced it.
Wow!
So I had a good practice on that one. So how am I doing against Marcus? A little bit better there, yeah.
Yeah, you're 3 shots ahead and about 45 seconds ahead on time by our estimates.
Yeah.
As here we come to the par 5 7th.
Oh, yeah.
I played it conservatively, I think. There was a lot of golf and a long time ago, but I think I had a pretty solid birdie putt here, pin high.
You do. Yeah, it looks to me like maybe 15 feet down the hill, maybe 12. You guys are in very similar positions. Marcus has a bit longer.
Yeah.
And I see you taking a moment to line up the putt there. Is there a range? Is there a range of putts that you will and won't stand behind? Or is it more just about a putt where you'll putt it as soon as you feel confident?
Yeah, I feel when I putt it when I feel confident, and also depending on the running distance before the putt. I mean, sometimes you need to have a couple of breathers.
That's right. All right. And here we are. This is the view from the 9th tee, the senior tee.
Yeah, it's really short.
And there's Mikael.
Trying to grip down the driver. Because it's really narrow if you drive it too far.
Yep. So you found the left side there. Is this a birdie putt on the way?
I'm not really sure if I had any. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was a birdie putt, a really long one uphill.
All right. Good stroke there on the par putt. Just an inch past the hole. That's going to tap in for a bogey 5. And so leaves you about 3.5 minutes under time par. Oh, where we are, 3.5 minutes under time par, comfortably beating your appointed rival, Marcus. Now we've come to the end of our early session coverage. I thought I'd show us a little graphic of speed golfer ingenuity, a bunch of different ways to carry your clubs, bunch of different ways to putt. How did you decide on the silo for yourself?
Whoa, it was actually when I got the spike in the silo when I found it really attractive, because I really need to keep my eye on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, nice putt there. Really need to keep my eyes on the ball and don't want to go down to the ground and picking up stuff, you know. And I also felt that it was easier to run with. So you need some structure and some practicing. But when you've done that, I think it's the best one so far.
As we wrap up, what's a favorite memory from the World Championships itself that you want to share?
Oh, there are so many things, but holding out on the last hole in the team competition was fabulous. and I won't spoil any results at this time. But it was a great moment. It was a lot of golf over 2 days, 54 holes, and also I had some time where I couldn't practice before, so I knew that I would have a tough time making all that running distance. So that was a super moment. But I mean, all the experience and the course and everything, and all the food and the Japanese hot springs and all that. So yeah,
yes,
super time.
Well, Mikael, I've appreciated our time on the broadcast. I appreciated our time in the onsen together, just talking speed golf and America and all kinds of things. Luke Bone and Robin Smith are on top of the open division after the early session. Marco Kuningas leads the seniors. We got a lot more speed golf in front of us. We'll be back after a short break with a new guest to help us digest the rest of the field. Mikael, thanks so much for being with us. Hope you come back soon.
Thank you, Adam, and love your work. Speed golf, baby. Let's go.
We're back with round one of the Speed Golf World Championships. I'd like to introduce our next guest, my new friend from Australia. His name is Riley Davie. Riley, what's up, man?
Not a lot, Adam. I'm happy to be joining you here today. I'm excited to look back at some speed golf. And there's something I have to say, of course, joining the broadcast. And it's going to be hard to not do it in an American accent because I hear it in your voice so often, but now I need to do it in an Australian accent. So, speed golf, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. I almost did it in your accent just then. For those who haven't had the pleasure of interacting with you, you mind introducing yourself, who you are, where you're from, and how you got into speed golf?
Riley Davie, Australian, live in Melbourne, and speed golf, I've been playing speed golf for 7 years now. Played in the most recent Australian Open, which was in 2018, which is returning this year, I might add. But had a long hiatus in between that where I did want to join for some world championships, but it didn't work out over the time. But 2024, it was meant to be coming to Japan, which was such a great experience, and it's beautiful to combine my two passions of running and golf together. So absolutely love speed golf.
And is it safe to assume that we're going to see you in New Zealand in 2026?
You can guarantee that. You'll see me in New Zealand in 2025 for their Open, the Carrot Cliffs Invitational as well, but most certainly for the Worlds in 2026.
Fantastic. Well, we don't want to keep the viewers waiting any longer. For now, Tatsuya Shinmoto is on top in the Open division with Luke Bone and Robin Smith trailing just behind him through 9 holes. Amy Linton on top in the women's division, and Marco Kuningas 3 shots ahead already against the seniors after only 9 holes. Marco, who we thought was going to be playing in the Open division, threatening to run away with this tournament already. And first on the tee in the second session, we're going to see the man himself, Jamie Reed, #1 speed golfer in the world. Now, when Garrett and I were doing the preview, Garrett hinted to me he was concerned that Jamie might be injured because he'd been following on Strava and seen that Jamie had been doing a lot of exercise biking and not a lot of running. And we were all unfortunately surprised to confirm that diagnosis when we saw him in a giant knee brace to start this tournament. Turns out Jamie had torn his ACL playing volleyball with his students. He's a teacher, and he's playing on a torn ACL. So as opposed to supersonic speed, we're seeing him just swift today, catching up with him on the par 3 4th hole. Nice little pin high shot here. Now, Riley, what did you think of this 4th hole? I found it to be pretty easy carrying 7-iron, just a soft 7 for me, but 144, depending on what club you carry, was not necessarily the easiest distance to hit.
No, not necessarily, was it? And especially for some of those that do take less clubs, like myself, only taking 3. You've kind of got to have a bit of a moldable shot, don't you? But luckily, it was a good number for me, but for many others, I definitely spoke with around the venue. They certainly struggled on that hole trying to find that right number.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of finding the right numbers, Jamie Reed just 1 over par, a very clean scorecard as we head to the par 5 7th. Jamie has laid up, and we're going to see him playing his 3rd shot in here. Jamie is carrying driver, 7-iron, gap wedge, putter. And at this point, I'd like to comment. I talked with Mikael Palmberg earlier about super shoes. So I said super shoes haven't fully, infiltrated speed golf in the same way they have, let's say, marathon running. But there are two very significant speed golfers who do wear super shoes, Jin Ota and Jamie Reed. If my eyes don't deceive me, that is the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. Do you wear super shoes, Riley? And if so, what's been your experience?
I do not possess super shoes, but I've done some reading on them and am aware of them. And I mean, when you say the two names, Jamie Reed and Jin Ota, are the ones wearing them, that's giving us a pretty clear indication that they might be something we should be considering, I think, for our speed golf rounds.
I think if Jamie and Jin were 4% slower, they would still be highly competitive speed golfers. I don't think it's just the shoes, as we see Jamie make yet another competent par there. And he's going to close out this front nine in 38 shots, puts him second on the leaderboard, tied with Luke Bone, and very much in contention here. But again, a couple minutes slower than we might have anticipated based on how fast he was in Florida 2 years ago. Now on the tee, a veritable legend in Japanese speed golf. His name is Joe Matsui, competing as a 50-year-old, first time in the senior division. And Joe, that looked like a 3-wood, but actually I was informed that is a mini driver. Mini driver, 6-iron, 9-iron, 52, and putter.
From Japan coming in.
A heavy bag there. And this is Joe's actually his 4th shot on the par 5 third. Really lovely there. Now, the angle on this hole I find to be very important. It's so tempting. You see all that fairway there down next to the bunker, but if you hit that fairway, not only are you having to chip up over the bunker, but you have a very short landing area. Joe missing it to the smart side, the right side there, gives himself plenty of green to work with and a nice par look. Oh, just by on the low side. That's beautiful. Wait, these greens at the 700 club are rolling super fast. Although it's actually easy to leave it short on an uphill putt because you get so burned by the downhill putts.
Absolutely. It's almost a tactic that I think a lot of people were practicing in that practice round, just trying to get that lag putting right, because it's so easy to burn a lot of shots around these 700 club greens, isn't it?
Certainly is. 3 bogeys in a row, but Joe has now righted the ship, and here he is on the par 5 7th. Took himself far away from the water. We've seen a lot of water balls on this hole, and here is Joe's approach. Now, playing the layup that far out to the right does give you a slightly more inefficient line, but way better than burning an entire shot by putting it in the water.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just getting down here, seeing a few holes played throughout the event, there are a lot of people very timidly approaching that water, trying to keep it that distant right, just to leave about a 70 or 80 meter shot in.
Mm-hmm.
Taking his time. Important birdie putt.
Nice birdie look here, though.
Yes, well done.
Drops it for the bird. He is now almost 6 minutes under time par, disrespecting the senior time par there, Joe Matsui, as he gets a bogey on the difficult par 3 8th. And now this 9th hole, big advantage for the seniors, probably 30 yards closer, but he still had a double bogey, difficult green there. All right. Bernie Smith on the tee, playing in his first Speed Golf World Championships. We know Bernie's younger brother, Robin, quite well. The Robin to Jamie Reed's Batman. And Bernie, in the classic Kiwi tradition, extremely fit, hardly looks like he's trying at all as he runs around this hilly 5-mile golf course. And just, casually making a par on first, bogey on the second. For you, Riley, what did you think of that second hole? It's only, 330 yards. I found that hole to be sneaky difficult.
Yeah, it was a difficult one for me, 100%. Just with club selection, taking 2-iron off the tee, it leaves you a gargantuan shot into that green, uphill, protected by bunkers. Tricky one deceptively, but when you look at it on the card and you see the distance, you feel, oh yeah, this should be a pretty easy hole. But no, I think there were certainly a few high scores on this green.
Certainly were. All right, Bernie finds himself about a full club past the hole here. Nice downhill lag putt.
It's a great
and
lag.
Here we see those 700 club greens just rolling out about 2 to 3 feet farther than you think they ought to. Can he clean up the par? Oh, just catches the bottom lip. That's another birdie for Bernie. And Kieran,
Bit of a sponsor there.
this one's on me. But if you want to sponsor the 2026 Speed Golf World Championships, we can talk. But we're going to have to talk dollars and cents, or maybe yen. We can talk yen. All right. And Bernie 1 over par through the par 4, 5, and 6. I really think if you get through that stretch 1 over par, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, you're in a really good shape, I think. And Bernie's someone who, in the lead up to the event, doing a bit of research on the New Zealand team, I didn't know much about, but I mean, we've got to start speaking about these guys a lot more. The same way that we speak about Jamie, I think they're all just as elite as one another.
Well, as I mentioned in the preview, Bernie Smith, your runner-up finisher at the New Zealand Speed Golf Open, with speed golf scores of 103, 104 in that event. So yeah, if that's not superhuman performance, I'm not actually sure what is, aside from that little 99 we saw. Now that was Bernie on in 4. He was actually to the back of the green in 3, par putt on the way. This pin location has been giving our golfers fits all day long. It looks like it should be breaking toward the water, but it's actually completely flat is what we're seeing from the video here. So tough bogey there on the 7th. And Bernie's going to finish out this 9. Pin high miss on the left side here on the 9th. It's tough to get the ball to pin high on this 390 uphill par 4. But he has got himself pin high. Key here is not to leave the ball above the hole. Nice soft pitch there.
Lovely touch.
Bernie.
Beautiful touch.
Oh, and look at that stop. Just half a foot from the hole. He's going to mop that up easily for his par. 39 shots in 23.59. And let's see where that puts Bernie on the old leaderboard. Does not crack the top 5. 9th, only 24 seconds over speed golf par. A nice performance, and Bernie is cruising. Hey, there's a guy that you might recognize. 2 iron in hand. Arms nearly as skinny as Adam Lorton's.
And that's exactly why I only carry 3 clubs in the silo, Adam. It's purely tactically to try and not take as much weight with me.
That's right. Now, you can see our really half-assed research here on the screen with that Riley Davie card, speed rating of winded. As we look at these timestamps coming in, it is clear that this man is on track to certainly break 55 minutes, if not go even faster. Although a couple of double bogeys on the card early. Talk to us about your round, Riley.
Well, yeah, especially these first 6 holes that we're looking at here. The tactic of putting with wedge was one that I decided a long way out from Worlds, just to limit the amount of clubs I was taking with me. And I've done a lot of wedge putting over the years, just in backyards and stuffing around with friends. But the 700 club green certainly caught me out in this first round. Like you mentioned earlier, those lag putts, and maybe this is one of them, I can't quite recall, but just knocking them up towards the hole and watching them go that 6 to 8 foot past the hole makes for a very tough return putt.
Well, lag putting with the wedge is a bit tougher, and I'll ask the viewers to pay close attention to Riley's putting technique here, balancing the silo on the raised left foot while wedge putting. A high degree of difficulty there, but a very cool, very unique setup, and nice finish there for a 5 on the par 4 6th. Checking back in with Riley on the 7th here. Approach shot on the way. Well, now that is a very nice approach. Looks like birdie putt incoming. Now, will Riley be fooled by this flat green that looks like it should be breaking right to left? That is what we're about to find out.
Any birdie putt that I did have, I think there's always an extra breath that you take to get your concentration levels up, because you definitely want to take 4 on this hole.
Absolutely.
Stayed high.
Yeah, good strike there, but yeah, it goes a few feet past the hole, a little bit over red. Mopping it up now. Beautiful putt.
Take that though.
6 on the card. Did you have a water ball?
No, not the entire event. I only hit one in a
right.
practice round, so I managed to use the same Titleist the whole way around.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a cheap
46 on the front, but 25:06 on the clock. That is tracking toward 50 minutes, aiming to be under that time par of 53. Another golfer on the tee now who was carrying 3 clubs. This is Brad Hayward from New Zealand. Some people carry 3 clubs because they're focused on speed. Others carry 3 clubs because their golf game is just that good. That's Brad Hayward, something like a, I don't know, +3 or +5 index player. And there he is, just, casually birdieing the par 4 second with 3 clubs. And we're going to be checking in with Brad soon, I believe, as he plays the par 3 fourth. That was Mick Macbeth, who we saw on the par 3 fourth. We'll be checking in with Brad as he plays the 7th.
And yeah, that elite golfer level where they're only carrying 3 clubs at them, it is such an advantage, isn't it? Being able to hit different shots with wedges, 7-irons, low, high, fades, draws, all the rest of it. It really makes a big difference to your speed golf score.
Very nice. We saw Brad taking a drop there, so now hitting his 4th into this green at the 7th. I, for one, put my layup in the water because I was so jazzed, had so much adrenaline that I pumped my driver 15 yards farther than usual. And so my carefully calibrated soft 7-iron layup just trickled barely into the water.
Well, threw your numbers off.
And I would not be surprised to hear that was the case for more than one speed golfer. Par putt for Brad. A lot of people have missed this one to the right. And he is yet another victim of this tough pin placement on the 7th. Bogey 6 on the card.
Yep.
3.5 minutes there, including the transition from hole 6 to 7. And a double to end that first 9 gives him a 40, a +440, puts him in 13th place, just a couple spots ahead of Rob Hogan. Now we have from representing South Sudan, Gatchik Gao. So much fun to watch this guy play. Really great golfer, and certainly not slow. He led the U.S. Open through 2 rounds, was only overtaken by Luke Willett because we had to play 2 rounds in a day. And there are some players whose cardio is calibrated for that, and Luke Willett is one of them.
Absolutely is. Luke Willett is an absolute sicko when it comes to running feet.
And from South Sudan.
That's right. Now we're going to catch up with Gadjik on the par 3 4th hole. Finds himself pin high with an uphill birdie look. This is a nice opportunity. And Gadjik, the only one in the field that I've seen who is doing what I call the Jason Hawkins method, which is bag strap over the shoulder to enable 2-handed putting. When I try this, it makes me absolutely crazy. I hate the feeling of the bag on my shoulder. Nice par
Great
there
putt,
for Gadjik.
yeah.
Only 1 over par through 4 holes. Have you been a silo guy for a long time, or did you carry a bag in the early days?
I've trialed with a very small speed golf bag, but that's just sort of hand holding it, but never adopted any sort of tremendous method of having it over the shoulder whilst putting to enable that 2-handed method. I did try a similar bag to Gadjak to do the 2-handed, but similar to you, Adam, it just doesn't feel good. It throws the balance off. So that's when I moved over to a silo.
You have to balance so carefully with the bag on your shoulder. All right. Gadjik hits a pin-high approach here on the 7th. You hear a smattering of applause from the huge World Championships crowd. And this guy wasting no time. I do think the bag on the shoulder is an advantage during running. I think you can run faster with the bag on the shoulder, but to me, it's just not worth it because of the putting situation. Birdie putt. Nice and firm there. Just a few feet by. And now a tester for par. This is not a tap in.
Yeah, great save.
No issue at all. Look at that. Another nice par on the card for Gadjik as he makes the big climb to the par 3 8th. By the way, I want to give huge credit to the people who came out and helped us hold the cameras. I'm thinking about Gary from New Zealand, Philip from Belgium. I just have so much appreciation for you guys, getting out on the course, exposing yourself to the elements so that we could get some great footage. Now, we've got 3 golfers on the way who we only have hole 7 footage for. And the first is Rubes.
Rubes, fellow Australian and just 17 years old. He is certainly a star to watch for the future. Not been playing speed golf long. Tremendous runner, tremendous golfer. Plays up on the Murray River in Australia. The Australian Open will be at his home course this year, so I'm excited to see what he can do, not only just at the Oz Open, but beyond into the speed golf future.
What can you tell us about Ruben's game?
Ruben, he's an elite runner. His times were incredible on a lot of holes. I'm sure we'll see when the score pops up here in a second, but his golf as well was immaculate. Carrying about the 5 clubs, I believe it was, he was taking with him. But yeah, his golf is incredible. I was certainly impressed with how he could play so well whilst with his high heart rate.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I want to make this.
Leaves himself about 3 feet down the hill. Oh, not quite enough setup time, I would argue, on that par putt. Finds himself with a 6, shoots 44 on that front 9. This is Yasuki Ogawa, former #1 senior on the Japanese tour until Joe Matsui aged in. Still the #1 Ogawa on the Japanese senior tour. And that approach barely cleared the water, but he is over and is going to have himself a birdie chip, I believe.
And is that a silo for him, Adam, there? Or is he just carrying his clubs?
It is not a silo. This is what I call the Mac McLean method, which is clubs in your bare hands. I don't recommend this, and I think we're going to see him fumble the clubs picking up after this little chip here. But yeah, chip shot on the way, birdie chip. Not a bad leave, but also not an amazing leave. Call that 7 feet there for the par. And Ogawa-san does this split stance putting, I assume, to get his eyes on the putting line. Excellent alignment on that putt, just a tiny bit short. It's going to be a 6 on the card, 42 in 27 minutes. A nice start for Yasuki. And this is Lauri Alakujala from Finland. Finds himself on the cart path, is advised by Philip to take a free drop here. Third shot on the way. Lowry's crowning achievement of 2024 so far was a 2nd place finish at the British Speed Golf Championships, beating Luke Willett, Scott Dawley, and Rob Hogan at Sunningdale Heath. So yeah, big year for Lowry.
That is no small feat, beating names of that ilk.
Well, and that course demands perfection on the golf side, especially in your approach game. And we're seeing a little bit of that right here, right now, as he sticks that 4th shot, to just 4 feet.
And a great putt too.
Drops it in, no problem at all.
5.
Rob Hogan. Wish we had more footage of the big bearded Irishman, the most interesting man in speed golf. One thing about Rob, it feels like one of the reasons he was the 2-time world champion 2013 and 2015 is that he was ultra focused on speed, whereas a lot of the other players were focused on golf. I'm going to ask Nico to play the clip Scott Dawley shared of himself playing at Bandon Dunes at one of those world championships where he had 20-second shot box time. You can see him place his bag way, 10 yards from the ball, walk over to it, give it a couple of waggles, hit the ball and pick it back up. So I do wonder if in this age where we're posting this stuff on YouTube, where everybody has democratized access to information, has some of Rob Hogan's advantage evaporated?
I think there's certainly every speed golfer out there would have to see the Hogan holster and everything that Rob does. And I think we could all be forgiven for, at least in the back of our minds, thinking of getting out to the shed and building our own holster at some point in our lives. I know I've certainly thought about it to reduce my shot box time, that's for sure.
I have as well. And that's true. I mean, that is an innovation no one can take away from the man. That Hogan holster, if your number one goal is speed, it is hard to find a better club carrying device.
Absolutely.
Lauren Cupp on the tee. Lauren Cupp coming in with sky-high expectations, especially after a disappointing performance at the 2022 World Championships, giving up a big lead to Mila Halinoro and coming in second by just a minute. Lauren's out in 39 shots in 31 minutes and 39 seconds. I think she honestly would have expected better for herself on the golf side. And I wonder, we haven't seen too many women other than Amy Linton finish up here. So we'll see how this stacks up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lauren coming from a famous speed golfing family, of course, the two Cups. I know I've taken a lot of inspiration watching them on YouTube and on Speed Golf Baby in the lead up to these Worlds. So I was very excited to see how Lauren performed.
Timo Eskeli from Finland, your 2022 senior champion here. He comes in with a 39 in 27 minutes and 43 seconds. And Stan Masson, this is a long drive athlete and Hogan holster wearer. He was blazing fast on that front nine. Do you see that 22:07 on track for a 44-minute round here at the 700 Club?
That is unbelievable time.
Meguna Haga, the teenage sensation from Japan, 37, one over par in 29 minutes, 28 seconds. My good friend Garrett Holt shared with me a story, which is that he was talking to Meguna and she said, "Hey, look, I listened to your preview podcast and you had me fourth." And Garrett said, I hope you do better than that. I'd love to see you succeed. And she said, fourth.
she took it personally. And I mean, so she should. After the season she's had on the Japanese speed golfing tour, she should certainly be offended by fourth. And I mean, I hope she used that as motivation for her performance.
Brad Dippy, yet another in a long line of talented Kiwis coming to this World Championships. Brad goes out in 40 shots in 25 minutes. Very nice start for Brad. The only Kiwi speed golfer I had ranked outside the top 21.
And it's just a further testament to speed golf in New Zealand. I know they do a lot of good work with Golf New Zealand, being backed by the national body there, but it's certainly something that all speed golfing nations need to model themselves on, getting involved with the national body, getting that support, because it certainly rings true with the amount of golfers they do have in that top 20, top 21.
Mila Halinoro next up here. Mila, your 2022 Women's World Champion. She goes out 41 shots. So 4 shots behind Meguna Haga in 30 minutes and 50 seconds. Puts her just, a shot and a half over speed golf par, on par with Amy Linton. Mila still very much in this. And Damian Mills, senior speed golfer from New Zealand. Now, looking at the numbers, I had no film of Damian. Looking at the numbers, I had him ranked as the number 1 senior speed golfer coming out of New Zealand. But the first time I met him, he was standing next to these towering giants, Greg Anderson and John Farron, these tall, really athletic looking dudes, and Damian standing next to them, kind of unassuming. And my first thought was, did I just get this completely wrong because I'm a detached outsider? But seeing him get around this front nine, 25 minutes and 59 seconds in that senior division, 8.5 minutes under time par, does set my mind at ease just a little bit. And I have to assume that the best golf is yet ahead of Damian.
Absolutely, an absolute athlete, just seen by those times there before. My God.
Speaking of Kiwi seniors, this is Greg Anderson. Was not able to accompany son Jordan because I'm told Jordan didn't get his passport renewed in time, but Greg showed up here. Looks like he's out in just a shade under 30 minutes shooting bogey golf 45. Greg in the hunt for top 10, probably not in the hunt for top 1, I would wager. And of course, the French phenom, Emily Millard. Expectations for her sky high going into this event, having just turned pro as a golfer and of course being a many multi-sport athlete. 4 over par 40 on the front nine, not up to her normal standard. 28 minutes, 52 seconds, though quite a quick time to get around. She, yet another French speed golfer who carries the Hogan holster.
And another one-handed putter, was it? Did I see there, Adam?
She does. And on the tee, the undefeated Liz McKinnon, never lost a speed golf tournament. She gets around that front nine in 28 minutes, 14 seconds. I think that's the fastest time we've seen from anyone in the women's division. 4 over par 40, mostly due to a double on the difficult par 4 first. To facilitate the tournament, everyone played from the same tees, but that made that first hole pretty big challenge if you don't hit the ball as far off the tee.
Absolutely, yeah. Whether you're taking an iron off the tee or hitting it skew if or not as far, it can be a real challenging hole. But I mean, Liz's golfing pedigree and her speed more than makes up for that. And yeah, her winningness over the years. I think her winningness dates back even back to the last Australian Open that I did play, which was 6-7 years ago now. So she's on an incredible streak.
We're about to roll the scoreboard here. This is the final scoreboard for the front nine. Tatsuya Shinmoto on top in the open division with Jamie Reed, Luke Bone, and Robin Smith all nipping at his heels. Maguna Haga from Japan on top in the women's division, nearly 2 minutes ahead of Liz McKinnon with that 37 on the front. And Marko Kuningas from Finland, again, threatening to run away with this competition in the senior division, near 3-minute lead on Timo Askelli after just 9 holes. We'll be back after the break with some special back nine features from this day one at the World Championships. Speed golfers, are you looking to use data to improve your game? If so, I strongly recommend supporting the 2 biggest app developers in our ecosystem, SpeedScore and the Speedgolf app. Track your rounds, make friends, compete in virtual competitions, and most importantly, improve your own game. Sign up for SpeedScore and the Speedgolf app. They're both free. They're both excellent. Thank me later. Little bonus footage. This player is not usually good enough to be featured on Speedgolf Baby, but this moment was too funny to pass up. That's me on the tee. With 1 minute to go, I turned on my video camera and I got the worst message possible, SD card error. But my SD cards were just a few steps away, so I decided I could risk the time, ran back, changed the SD card, screwed it back on, and I was only about 10 or 15 seconds late for my tee time.
No, that's nothing at all. Anything for the content, Adam. You got to do it for the content.
That's right. For the tube, for the gram.
Here. And a great tee shot.
Thank you very much. Yep, that was pipe down the fairway, if I say so myself. We're back. Back nine at the Speed Golf World Championships. You guys should know a little behind the scenes. There were no golf carts at this portion of the tournament. So what we would normally do is have one camera follow one featured speed golfer around the golf course and ride on the golf cart in between shots. That didn't happen here because, again, there were no golf carts. So we used stationary cameras, as you saw at hole 7. And so our coverage of the back nine for day one is pretty limited, but we're going to start ourselves with a really interesting moment that we were able to get a side-by-side. And this is going to be your first shot box analysis of the World Championships. On the left, you've got James McMaster from Australia, whose speed I lovingly rated as leisurely, same as my own, compared to Robin Smith, who I rate as swift. And you can see the difference in shot box time, 7.3 versus 10.9 seconds in the shot box. You add those 4 seconds up over a round of golf, you get a pretty big difference. And so that can go to illustrate how important it is to get in and out of that shot box quickly.
Absolutely.
Now we're on to our hole 13 spotlight. We're going to see a bunch of great players coming in. And we've got Pat Brennan. Love you, Pat. Thank you so much for becoming my friend at the Speed Golf World Championships. Pat, Rob Hogan's partner in crime on Team Ireland. He is here just about pin high on the par 3 13th. Now the 13th, Riley, super tough because you have to climb that hill from hole 12 afterward. How did you think about energy management in this tournament?
Well, that's the thing. It's on a back nine. It was much better when starting on the back nine, when in Team World Cup and that sort of mode. But when it is your 12th hole, the hardest thing about this 13th hole isn't actually the hole itself. It is that run, and that's a great putt by Pat to save par. But yeah, the energy management side of things, I feel like early on you just need to go as slow as you possibly can, which is a weird bit of advice, but it certainly works.
Yes, completely agree. Well, and I was heartened when I saw how fast people like Luke Willett were taking that hill. I realized I wasn't doing anything wrong by just, shuffling up there with some baby steps.
I think I saw some footage of Scott Dawley crawling up that hill as well, but he might have posted to his socials, which I found very entertaining.
Amy Linton here on the 13th has found, oh my gosh, got caught up in the rough. There were a couple of greens that look pretty flat as you're looking from the fairway, but you see they just have the tiniest little crown to them. And it's especially tough for somebody like Luke Willett, who loves to play a bump and run. Those bump and run shots were punished heavily, in my opinion, by these greens. Oh, great lag there by Amy Linton. Gets herself in for a 4. She's 4.5 minutes under time par through 13 holes. And here we have Jamie Reed. This is footage taken by me. And I have to say that this is one of those times when I felt a little bad to be holding a camera. I felt like I was intruding on a deeply personal moment as this guy with the torn ACL hauls himself up this steep hill.
Absolutely, Adam. And I think you said leading in your preview that the biggest news story out of this event, if Jamie Reed weren't to win it, would be Jamie Reed not winning it and anyone else actually taking it out themselves. But seeing Jamie in that knee brace, it was certainly difficult to watch. I do feel for Jamie, but still unbelievable speed and unbelievable golf regardless.
Yeah, he is playing fantastic, especially situationally adjusted, as we would say. Now here, Jamie, I believe, has found that front bunker. No, he has not. Jamie has found the front of the green here, but he is taking what I would call the Jason Hawkins line, which is Jason Hawkins, I've observed many times, runs to minimize climbing. And so he will run around a dip rather than down and back up. And Jamie just did the same thing, what's those details that really matter when you're talking about energy management.
Yeah, and that's especially true at this 700 club venue. Very deceptively hilly on a lot of holes around this golf course, especially this 13th hole.
Long putt from off the green there for Jamie. Finds himself just past the hole. He's going to tap this one in for a bogey 4. And still 5 minutes under time par through 13, despite a torn ACL. Kiwi comrade Bernie Smith here, on and one with a birdie putt. Looks like he has passed Joe Matsui. He's going to tap in for an easy par here. And Bernie, that's just a pretty darn clean card. And it looks like, who do we have coming in on hole 18? Garrett Holt has come in. Looks like 14 over speed golf par. Tough day, tough first day here. I certainly found the greens to be very difficult this first day.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they slowed down a little bit, maybe with a bit of moisture overnight into round 2, but day 1, everyone getting used to them. And as we see here, a lot of wedge putters too, as well, that may have been regretting that decision, like myself potentially, but let's see what he can do here.
Well, we just saw Jamie Reed, the man himself, carrying an actual putter after just storming the field with wedge putting out of his mind in the 22 World Championships.
And that was the exact inspiration I drew from Jamie Reed using a wedge. So seeing him with putter in hand certainly worried me on day 1.
Nice, easy par 3 for Brad Hayward. And now we've got Gatchik, got that Seymour putter, and he sees himself just tapping it in for an easy 3, 2 minutes under time par through 13. Right, and who do we have finishing up? That was Steve Vansel finishing his first 18, 12 minutes under speed golf par, and now just 24 seconds behind Marco Kuningas. So nice finish for Steve Vansel, and it is now I'd call it a dogfight. These guys both have the dog in them, a dogfight in that senior division. Rubes, Ruben Haley on the 13th here, currently 15 over speed golf par. So struggling a little bit with this 700 club. but has himself a birdie look from just off the green.
Fast putt, walking after it. A great spot to watch golf on this 13th hole, sort of coming back
That's
to the
right.
clubhouse there. So it was a great place to rekindle with teammates here. Just left on that
13th
putt
and
there.
18th, and no hills to climb because you're at the very top of the golf course. Bogey 4 for Ruben, and now got a shot on the way from Stan Masson. Again, Hogan Holster player in 22 minutes on that front nine. See how that speed is holding up here as he approaches the 13th. Birdie putt on the way, and it looks like he may be passing Timo Eskelli. Asking the ball
Wants
to
it to
slow down.
settle.
Actually, it was perfect speed, but that is a 3-putt bogey for Stan in just 207, including the climb. Amy Linton has now finished up. She's the first woman in the clubhouse at just a half minute under Speed Golf par. Now, this is Makoto Kurihara, one of the Japanese speed golfers I found difficult to research. Going to be fun to watch Kurihara-san.
It's an amazing shot if that's the shot off the tee.
Beautiful tee shot here. Birdie look. Excuse me, par look.
Maybe not off the tee.
Runs that just by on the low side. Gonna finish that one up for a nice bogey. Look, that was a nice soft touch on that bogey finish.
Good leg putt.
Here's Brad Dippy finishing up a par here.
Ooh, damn. Want to make the next.
Keep going,
And
mate.
does.
Keep going.
Now, Runa Peterson has just finished leading the senior women's division. And this is Damian Mills, who we already mentioned. Got around the golf course extremely quickly in the front nine. We're going to see how he's doing relative to time par in just a second here. Birdie chip, wow. Expert touch there.
Good leg. Good leg.
Oh, fun to watch Damien. 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And Damien is 12 minutes under time par.
Wow.
Tomomi Nishikawa, 2023 U.S. Senior Open champion, has just finished up. Looks like just cracking the top 5 there. And here's our first look at Tatsuya Shinmoto, either the number 1 or number 2 speed golfer in Japan, depending who you ask. And Shinmoto-san, look at that with his homemade golf bag made out of tent poles and extremely lightweight fabric. You see, he uses a little holster on the back, similar to a West Cup hook. Got himself a par putt here, looking to just knock this one in. Oh, so disappointing to miss that putt. Uphill now, about 5 feet to finish with a bogey. That's a 76 in 44.24. That's I think a minute and a half faster than he finished the Japanese Speed Golf Open a year and a half ago. Puts him in 3rd place in the Open division of those who have finished 18 so far. Right. Rob Hogan, a minute 22 under Speed Golf par going into the 18th here. Real nice shot. Going to have himself a birdie look. Putting as Jamie Reed with an actual putter.
Very different for Rob, but a wonderful putt there.
That's right. And a nice par, 81 in 41.06. Rob is now in 4th place on the Open Division leaderboard after a nice back 9. All right. And now the Kiwi having to climb downhill. Downhill's got to hurt on that torn ACL. This is what happens when you go long left on the 18th tee.
And it really is that fatigue that kicks in on, not just 18, but the whole back 6, but especially up this hill, climbing back up to that clubhouse was brutal on all speed golfers, even Jamie Reed.
Absolutely brutal. So gap wedge in hand there. Nice controlled swing. This guy just wants to bring it in the clubhouse, knows he has 9 more holes to play in the Team World Cup event. That video is coming soon. Looking to finish himself out with a competent par would be just fine with Jamie Reed.
And Jamie Reid with one of the all-time best speeches, Adam, at the opening ceremony of the Speedgolf World Championships.
Did it change my life? No, it did not. Downhill putt, similar to what Shinmoto had. Really nice touch on that.
Excellent touch. And
this looks like a strong candidate to be cleaned up for a par. 45 minutes and 30 seconds, shooting 75. This man, 4th place in the open division on a torn ACL. Love to see it from Jamie Reed. All right. And now Joe Matsui. We know that the leaders are in with 12 under par in the senior division. Joe currently 3 under par. This is likely to be an eagle chip, I would think. Oh, and just a little heavy-handed with that. I expect a slightly better wedge play from Joe traditionally. Has himself a tough downhill putt. And as we saw, not easy to stop this one near the hole.
Not even the slightest. I think there's been some events in speed golf at the 700 club, so maybe Joe is a bit more used to this putt than others.
He shot 75 in 50 minutes here just a year ago at the Japan Speed Golf Open, finishing 4th in the open division at age 49. Oh, and a very disappointing miss there. That's a bogey 6, 82 in 54 minutes and change. So 4 minutes slower than a year ago. Joe sits in 4th place, 9 minutes behind the leaders. All right. And just like Jamie Reed, Bernie has also gone left on this hole. Looks like he hit it a bit further. I was on the camera here. We were not able to locate this ball, so he unfortunately is going to be taking a drop, but wisely playing by the rules and taking himself back to the fairway, hitting 3 from right here. All right. And with that mid iron, should be able to get himself just short of the green. I expect a 30-yard pitch incoming.
Up.
I was wrong. He's going to be putting this ball. Birdie putt on the way for Bernie. Has left it a bit short. Call that 7 or 8 feet up the hill for his par. Disappointing bogey on the 18th, but that's still a 74 in just a shade under 47 minutes. That's got to be top 5. In fact, it is 3.5 minutes under speed golf par. Nudges Rob Hogan out of the top 5. Bernie Smith going to be in contention to win this thing. And here's Riley Davie. The mic is yours, my friend.
Goodness me. I was fearing this footage, Adam. I was so excited to see you coming up the 18th hole. I think I hit a really nice shot in here and get very excited, but maybe get blurred of everything that was going on in the world and turn to you. Here I am here. This is one of the rare moments where the toe top putting method does not work. Perhaps one of its downsides. Just getting the clubs locked in there. Getting some good breath back though as I line up this putt, which may be for par, maybe for birdie.
Yep, this is a birdie putt.
Just an easy one. Missed on that low side.
Did not catch that one cleanly off the blade. A rare miss hit.
Then same on the way back.
Is a very unfortunate 3 putt from just a few feet. 49.5 minutes, though, getting around this golf course. That is extraordinarily fast. And Riley, as of this moment, that puts you 22nd on the Open Division leaderboard, comfortably ahead of me.
We'll take that. Was very happy with the time. Not as much the golf, but very happy with that 49 minutes.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brad Hayward, just 3 clubs in hand. Really a lot of bounce in his step coming up this 18th hole. That 3 club method, there's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. He looks like he'd go for another 9 more, I think.
I think he could. Downhill putt, similar to what we saw from Matsui-san.
That's a lovely touch.
Has hit that very gently. Great touch. Is this just going to be a easy tap in? Par 77 in just a little under 48 minutes. That is going to be top 10. 33 seconds over speed golf par for Brad Hayward. Nice outing there in round one. Gatchik here. This is his drive. Bombs the driver. Dead down the middle here. Should be 6-iron in hand, looking to get close to greenside. Mighty swing there. Big rip.
He's got a lot of X factor, Gatchik.
Yeah. Well, got gas in the tank to push it up this hill. It's great stuff. He knows he's going to be playing with Steve Vansel later, so he'll be he'll have time to rest while Steve catches up to him. Oh, really nice wedge play there from Gatchik. This is what you can expect when you see a plus handicap golfer, is just the automatic, 20 and 30 yard wedge shots. Got a birdie look down the hill here. This would be a great way to finish.
Proving a hard one to birdie.
Just misses on the low side.
And the 3-putt.
That was a difficult comebacker. 3-putt bogey, not the first nor the last we will see. A 79 in 49 and a half minutes. Leaves Gatchik going to be top 15, I would think. Yes, 13th, 4 minutes overtime par. Hampus, my new friend from Sweden, held a camera for Speed Golf Baby. Thank you for that, Hampus.
Playing with the spike there, Adam, which I saw an increasingly large amount of players playing with that spike. Might be something in that.
A lot of spikes, especially considering they don't sell a spike. You have to make one. There were a very impressive number of those. And that was that subtle crown you just saw really get Hampus there. Just stops the ball dead. Par putt coming up the hill. Hampus nursing a foot injury. You can see a tiny little limp in the step there. So kudos to him for finishing strong here. Oh, that was a good looking putt. And yet again, we see this just rolling by.
Tricky hole.
Tricky. 92 in 52 minutes and change. Quick highlight here. Lowry, I could barely get the camera on in time to capture that one. Huge birdie there from Lowry, and love that fist pump. And Lowry, top 13, nudges Gatchik out of the way. Timo Eskelly on hole 18, your senior 2022 world champion. This is a chip you cannot stop next to the hole unless you hit the flag. All right. We've been watching people miss this putt all day long. Can Timo drain it?
That high side.
Oh my goodness. Not even the Scotty Cameron can make that happen. 83 in 55 minutes, 41 seconds. Tough back nine for Timo. That drops him out of the top 5 and into 7th, just behind Paul Kivala from the USA. And here we have Stan Masson. Oh, I'd love to know if he's here in 2. He is a big hitter.
Yeah, an interesting spot.
Tough spot there. Downhill lie out of that rough. Virtually no shot to stop the ball unless you play it very high and very soft. And that was kind of more of a low driving shot. But he was there in 2. This is a birdie putt now. Good touch. A lot of people are going to miss this to the side nearest us. That'd be Stan's right. Pulls it to the left. Slaps the putter yet again. Not the first time we've seen that in this video. That's an 84. Wow, 43 minutes and 49 seconds. You go that fast, you're going to find yourself in the top 20. And Stan 13th, again, just a couple seconds ahead of Lowry now. Okay, Damian Mills, hole 18 here. Similar spot to Stan.
Another long hit if that's his second.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Damien's showing us 2 examples of his wonderful short game here. Can he drop this for birdie? Oh, my gosh. Nobody watched this part of the video. Jeez.
Shows that we're all human.
Speed golfers aren't any good, which is just not the case. 82 shots in 51.07. Now we've got ourselves a little data visualization. Riley, I know you love a data visualization. So this would be your club carrying speed golfer ingenuity. And you can see that by far the most popular club carrying device is the silo. We don't have silos and spikes broken out here, but we did, like you said, we saw a lot of spikes, a few golf bags. And what are these others? Oh, other would be, well,
yeah,
we saw
what were the others? Were they?
We saw Ogawa-san was just holding club in hand.
Of course, yep.
Yeah, any other thoughts or reactions to this?
Yeah, the silo, the dominant. I would love to see that split out between silo and spike on top of that, because I think it's going to change a whole bunch. But I think some of the golf bags, even to see that split out too into regulation golf bags, Sun Mountain Speed golf bags, or some of the incredible ingenuity of some homemade ones, like you mentioned before. Yeah. And I think I was nerding out a bit as I arrived at the course. I was just looking around on the ground, looking at people that had nets in the bottom of theirs and using what looked like a little camera tripod on the top. There was certainly some very creative golf bags out at the 700 Club.
We've got one more data visualization for you, and this would be putting styles. All right, so the most popular putting style you can see is the armpit pinch method with the silo. Now, have you experimented with that, Riley? How'd you land on the...
I did experiment with this, and I don't know, Adam, you might have found a similar sort of issue, but not having much meat between the bones and the underarms of the ribs proved to actually be quite a painful sort of thing, tucking the silo under the arm. So I played around with it for a bit, but arrived on the toe top. A lot of experience over the years, just, knocking in 3 and 4 footers, standing a little bit weird and crooked and with legs up and things like that, actually made it not too difficult to switch to that toe top, and really minimize the shot box time and those transitions around the green as well, just to be able to keep wedge in hand, keep clubs in hand as well. But the armpit was a bit too much of a pinch for me.
Yep. Actually, in the 2023 U.S. Open, I played the double armpit pinch. So that is basically the clubs were flat, were straight across my chest. I actually liked it as a, I don't know, it's probably not USGA legal, but it helped me line up my my longer putts, because I could see the clubs sticking out my left side, perfectly aligned to my chest.
Yeah, make it a bit of a metronome as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, Hogan holster, of course, super easy to putt with 2 hands. Belt hook as the method I would recommend for all new speed golfers, especially if you're carrying a bag. And then one-hand putting. I think we've seen, you don't see many players who are absolutely dominant with one-hand putting. I think the glaring exception to that would be Nick Gooden from the USA. This guy's shooting, level par on the front 9, one-hand putting.
Absolutely crazy, yeah.
These are the unicorns of the Speed Golf World Championships. Got Riley Davie, of course, with the foot balance method, as what I call it. What you call it, toe top?
I actually started calling it toe top because I think was how it was referenced, either by yourself maybe, in the review of the event in a write-up, or maybe Scott Dawley in a comment section of a Speed Golf Baby reel. So I just adopted it from that. But I am excited to share that I am working on a different putting technique at the moment that would fall onto this unicorn page as well. So I'll continue to conduct some testing, and we can report back next Worlds.
And then, of course, we've got Gadjic with the bag, shoulder strap. If Jason Hawkins had been able to be here, he, of course, would be the second name in that column. And after 18 holes, we didn't give you a scoreboard alert when this happened. Maybe we should have. Robin Smith, your leader through 18 with a plus 375 in 43.24. He is 6 minutes under time par, with the 2 Japanese legends, Ota-san and Shinmoto-san, in hot pursuit, both 4 minutes under time par, followed by Jamie Reed and Bernie Smith. In the women's division, Liz McKinnon is your leader. After a great back 9, she now leads Maguna Haga by a minute, with Emily Mollard trailing both of them by about 2.5 minutes. And then in the senior division, It looks to, well, it's a 3-horse race. Mikael Palmberg, our guest from the early part of round 1, is in 10 under par through 18 with a nice 77 there on the golf course. But Steve Vansel, a plus 274, puts him 12 under. And Marco Kuningwas getting around this golf course in 47.5 minutes. He is 12.5 under par. These are the names to watch as we head in to the final round. Riley, Davie, do you want people to follow you on social media?
Yeah, they can come check me out. It's pretty much exclusively speed golf content these days. So yeah, on Instagram it's Davie36. Which yeah, you can follow my journeys as I do go to New Zealand in April to compete in a couple of events, and then the Australian Open up on the Murray River in May.
Follow Riley on Instagram if you want more speed golf in your feed. And let's be honest, if you got to this point in this video, I'm assuming that you do want more speed golf in your feed. I said at the top of the show, but if you subscribe to Speed Golf Baby, you're going to get notified when we publish round 2, when we publish the Team World Cup, which will be the crowning video of this World Championship season. And of course, it'll send a valuable signal to the YouTube gods that you consider this content worth watching. So we hope you'll consider doing that. Until next time, I'm Adam Lorton for Riley, Davie, and me and the entire Speed Golf family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And by the way, keep it in the short grass.
Speed golf, baby. Let's go.